Dead by Daylight just had one of the worst updates it's ever had. I was really excited to see all the new changes that the game would make and just see that they are not as good as the original. One of the biggest downgrades that I've seen a game take in quite a while. But this does seem to be more of a trend of these bigger games and these bigger companies just making huge changes that no one's asking for and doing it anyways and just seeing major backlash. As you can clearly see from the Steam reviews, I'm not the only one who thinks this as well. Look how big that jump is. You'd mainly see some big games usually take updates slowly over time and the reviews get worse and worse, but no, this is just instant. The majority of what I loved about the game has just been severely downgraded and just shows little to no improvement. I just don't understand how the beta testers just played this and thought, yeah, this is great, just put it on for the world to enjoy, nothing wrong here. It just ruins a lot of the feel and the pacing of the game. So I'm going to go over the majority of the changes that were put into this update and see how it compares to the previous update, just showing how much of a downgrade this is, and giving my thoughts on how to fix it and actually make this game better instead of worse. So first things first, we're just going to have to talk about the So first, let's go over what they did actually good. When someone gets hooked, you can actually see how many times they've been hooked and see if they're dead on hook, and you can even see how close they are to getting on the second phase, which is actually great for strategy. Alright, there are the positives. Time for the dog. It just looks like a mobile game. Just compare this to any mobile version of a game. It's just, they turned it mobile. Okay, the second thing is just, look at this. Like, the people are over here, the gens are over here, your tool is over here, and the perks are over here. And it's everywhere. Look at the previous one. Oh, there are the gens, there are the people, there's my tool, oh, there are the perks over there, and that's it. The developers just wanted to try to spread it out as far as they can, just so you have to search for it. I mean, if you want to do it normally, you're just going to have to go cross-eyed to see everything at once. The reason why I love the previous UI is because it was just so simple and so small, and you could just get so much information from something so little. But this just goes in the complete opposite direction from that. I constantly look in the corner because I'm just so used to it, but no, it's just all the way up here, too bad. And also for the killer, you can see how many times you've hooked people. And I mean, that's cool for the first time, but it's just useless. I see no reason to have it. Maybe you're trying to do a challenge or something, but for normal play, there's no point. It's useless. Okay, that's enough of the UI. Now let's actually get into the gameplay. So we'll start off with the switch from a rank-based system to MMR is the worst idea possible. Like, you can look at other games that have MMR, like Rainbow Six Siege, and that is just awful at freaking getting people together who are both skilled enough and do the same thing. If you ever played Rainbow Six Siege, you know you're gonna get someone who's complete dog or someone who's just completely better than you. There's no in between. This also affects playing with friends, because if you have a friend who's in red ranks and then you're in yellow ranks, you're just going to get these really rank 1 killers with overpowered add-ons just killing you all, and you only get one gen done just because your friend's red rank and you're yellow rank. This makes me not want to play with my friends because they have such a higher skill level than me, even though I just want to play together and have fun and not care about ranks, but apparently I can't do that now without getting slaughtered most of the time. Hi, it's me from the future. So basically, what I just said is kind of done, because I just played some more today with my friends, and we aren't getting these killers anymore, and everything's kind of fine. Nothing too overpowered, but I don't know if it was just us trying to level us out with MMR or what was going on, but there's no problem. Continue. You should never ever make it so you don't want to play with your friends. That is the last thing you want a game to do. And for no reason, when you just die, you're not going to pip at all. You're either going to no pip or de-pip. And there's no reason to have that. In the original, if you did really good, and then if you died, you could still pip. And that's great. But what if you open the door, and then your friend's on hook? Oh, you want to go save them, and then, oh, you die, and then you get put on the hook. And, oh, there goes your chance for pipping. Too bad. You should have just left your friend and be a bad teammate. So ranks at this point are just kind of useless. It just kind of shows how many times you've escaped and not how good you are. So I find them to be not useful at all. Because if it's just based on skill, it'll just put you who's close together and not what the rank is. So what's the point in having ranks? Okay, now that I'm done talking about the ranks, I'm going to get to the thing that pisses me off the most, which is obviously talking about the So the majority of my hours are on Survivor. It's what I usually go play. I mean, I play a decent amount of Killer, but majority of it is Survivor. Okay, well, let's start off with the first thing when you see it. The movement. It's so weird. They don't even look scared or terrified anymore. They just walk in, just, you know, not looking like, oh no, I could die. They just look like they're doing fine. And then when they get hit, they don't even look like they're trying to run. It looks like they're just going through a straight jog. And crouch spamming is kind of ruined. It's not as fun as it used to be. It just seems so unnatural and differs a lot from what it previously was. The hitboxes are just so weird. Like, you could just get hit a foot away from you, even though they're not even touching you. Or you could be hurt and someone could try to heal you, and they're just like a foot away from you, and it just looks awful. And how they kind of changed the movement, it's hard to 360 now. You know, and you could just like go do a 360 and have a chance of the killer missing you. Yeah, that's completely harder to do and almost impossible in certain scenarios. You could also like slide to a pallet and then you're off, but then the killer just grabs you from it even though you're done with the animation. How does that work? They just made Survivor just so unfun to play now. Like, I slowly go more and more to killer as time goes on. I mean, it's just harder to pip and rank up when all this is happening with the UI and the ranking. And because I usually get to like purple ranks, but now I'm in green ranks because of how hard it is now. And just speaking of killer, I think it's about time we talk about Killer feels basically the exact same. There's not much change here. I think it's okay. I will admit, it does feel easier to actually pip, though. I mean, because I was like, when I got to green ranks, I'd usually get people who would flashlight me and just bully me the entire time. But now look at me, I'm rank 10, and I'm just breezing through these. I'm thinking of just stop playing Survivor and then just playing Killer the entire time now. But at the same time, I don't want to upload a Killer Dead by Daylight because that's just not as fun as Survivor and like communicating and stuff like that. So to wrap the majority of this up, there's a lot of problems in this. There's also a lot of bugs that I haven't even talked about. How sometimes I was playing with my friends and it would just instantly kick one of us out randomly, just saying that we needed internet. There was even a bug in the map so bad that they had to take the map out. Like, I'm pretty sure it's still out right now. It was Autohaven. It's gone now because it was so broken they had to take it out. That was the only way they knew how to deal with it. I don't know if it was rushed or if they just wanted to get this out and just see people play, or I don't understand. I don't want Dead by Daylight to go in the same path as the big companies like PUBG and like Cyberpunk, making these games that are just, and then they just release it even though it's obviously not ready. They should have just waited another month just to fix all the bugs at least. But at least they're showing that they understand all this hate. I mean, like, look at this. Like, they're saying that, like, they hear us and that they're going to do something about all of our complaints, which I'm really glad for. Most of the big companies don't really care that much about their fans and what they do. When they already have a game, they just put it up, put some, like, random DLC, and then move on. At least Dead by Daylight isn't doing that. I mean, like, look at the screenshot. Like, they're changing the UI. I mean, it's not as good as the previous, but at least they're trying and listening. All they gotta do is fix the bugs, fix the movement, and make it easier for survivors to pip. Also the UI, but it seems like they're on that right now. I think this is a really fun game, and I know this game can do better and show more games and just have it be looked up to, be the chosen one to know how to make good games and listen to the community. Because if it stays in the same state or gets worse, I'm probably gonna stop playing and there's not gonna be any more Dead by Daylight videos ever. Which is a shame because I really like making them and they're just so fun to edit and I don't want that to be taken away. But anyways, that's about what I wanted to say. If any Dead by Daylight developers listening to me right now, please fix the game. And also, you can keep the MMR system from ranks. I'm okay with that. I mean, I would love it to be switched, but I can live with it. I originally had a different video planned for today, but I just had to get this out and just say how I feel. Because the first time I played, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And it just pissed me off just seeing how the game actually was. So I'm probably not going to make any videos on Dead by Daylight until they fix this. Or if it just stays like this, I won't make any more. That's about all the problems I have to say about it. So I hope things can get better. Thanks for listening, and bye.
Alright, she's after me.
One more gen, boys.
Oh!
Yeah, I can get Jacob.
Oh!
What?